Original teaching. Experience brings transformation. Contrails and fairy tales. Lines in the sky. People are looking to the heavens and seeing lines in the sky from jet airplanes. But what is it that we're really seeing? Contrails? There was a lot of money spent for 77 scientists to investigate the lines in the sky and then to educate and convince people that the lines in the sky are just condensation trails from the jet engines. Contrails. One fact we know for sure is that these jets are not spraying anything in the air for humans to ingest, for everyone has to breathe the same air. However, so far up, if they were up to something, wouldn't the natural phenomenon of contrails cover it up? Maybe certain conspiracy theories were created to divert people's creative imaginations away from looking into other concerns about what is the natural outcome of so many planes, jets, and rockets in our atmosphere and possibly on our climate. Recently, science has reported concerns that night flight contrails could be contributing to an increase in global climate temperatures. The scientific theory is that the contrails form clouds, high-altitude vapor barriers, which blocks the Earth's radiation from being reflected back out at night. Earth's atmosphere is like a skin breathing, letting in and out whatever it needs to maintain homeostasis, equilibrium. Flying all around the world, all the time, could be affecting things more than we realize. Do you think governments don't know about weather manipulation? That there are no military applications? One only needs to look at the 2008 Summer Olympics in China to see weather manipulation on a grand scale. They kept the skies clear and blue over Beijing, while downwind torrents of rain poured down. And what about the money, as in who can afford the damage from shifting weather patterns? Could there be silent economic battles going on? The science is that the lines in the sky are just contrails, condensation trails of water vapor that appear and last according to altitude and humidity. But what about the burnt and unburnt fuel? Science tells us that jet fuel is mostly kerosene, that jets tend to use lower grade fuels with higher flash points so they're less flammable, that jet fuel compositions vary widely based on the source of petroleum used in the manufacture, refinery, desalting and distilling to produce kerosene, plus additives such as antioxidants, antistatic agents, corrosion inhibitors, biocides, chelating agents, cleaning and lubricants, just to mention a few chemicals that are added to the fuel. Chemistry 101. Chemicals form compounds when subjected to various temperatures and pressures inside the jet engines and its exhaust. Jet engines emit many different hydrocarbons, metals, and other particulate matter. It is also known that any pollution in excess can cause illness, sickness, disease, and even result in death. The literature reports microscopic metal and particles found in jet engine exhausts include these metals. See a periodic table of elements to discern which ones are which. And gases found in the jet engine emissions include these gases and vaporized unburnt fuel from incomplete combustion, byproducts and contaminants. And what about the fuel dumping to reduce plane weight for landing? Are they cloud seeding? No. Cloud seeding is done with silver iodide and is a normal activity paid for by various farming communities, whereby working with a meteorologist, the pilot seeds possible storm clouds to make it rain. So, if they are not controlling the weather, could they be disrupting weather patterns around the globe to generate the perception of climate change? Maybe they are not seeding the clouds, but using the principle of electrostatic attraction within the contrails to form new clouds, larger clouds, denser clouds, and huge cloud covers. Bottom line, look up and watch. Make your own observations. They are artificially generating a long cloud, contrail, that then draws to it any smaller clouds in the area, while naturally densifying atmospheric vapor, creating longer clouds and heavier cloud coverage. Whether they're creating this artificial cloud coverage on purpose or just a result of our lifestyle, the result is obvious. Flying through moisture-rich zones in the sky creates bigger and longer contrails, and if done in the vicinity of existing wispy clouds, electrostatic attraction pulls it all together. Look up and watch. You can see it happen like magic right before your eyes. Jets are producing huge clouds and massive cloud coverage. We do it on our side of the earth this week, and next week there is an inclement weather somewhere else on the earth. Jets make the clouds and off they go, riding on the winds across lands and waters to accumulate and release torrents of rain, atmospheric rivers. Naturally or artificially, the climate is fluctuating, trying to maintain homeostasis, equilibrium. Phones on, heads looking down. Mind your own business. Nothing going on up here. Is this the life you want to keep experiencing? This is an evil world full of evil beings. Peace on earth, never. 2,000 years ago, there were a few million people. Today, there are over 8 billion people here for the grand event, all hoping for the first or second coming of the Messiah, the second coming of the teachings of Jesus that could take us out of this hellhole of death, disease, and destruction forever. When the teachings were revealed to me in the Bible, I couldn't understand why they were cloaked until recent light revealed it was Constantine writing the Roman religion into and around the teachings of Jesus. Many cannot understand the binding of the minds to earthly activities, especially honorable and honest pursuits, which are noble, ego. However, all earthly attractions are designed to hold man's attention completely to the exclusion of any time for spiritual pursuits. Lost in the desires of the body, we are serving the senses of the physical body, but the body can never be satisfied. The different senses, when permitted to run loose, will lead us hither and yon, this, then that. The bodily senses and appetites rule in this world. The Master Jesus' teachings were and are to acquaint people of earth with this knowledge, that you may and must become a conscious part of the eternal part of yourself, spirit, and not be lost in the desires of the body, which is merely a garment for your expression while you inhabit it here in the physical. The Master's teachings always did pertain to spirit, the spirit side of life before and after death, and never should be applied to the human side of life. Know that life is eternal, and that our pilgrimage here on earth is merely transitory, which, however, becomes a reoccurrence by compulsion, lost in the desires and fantasies of the physical senses, keeping us ever occupied. Somehow, sometime, we all must pass through the change we term death, into the great beyond called the spirit world. To many, this is unbelievable and unprovable, especially to those that live a purely material life. The people of earth have not the slightest idea of the influence of spirits from the psychic and lower realms in connection with all the activities of their earthly life. The one and only purpose the Master came into an earthly body for was to acquaint people with the truth and reality of life being eternal, and to unfold to them, as much as they would permit, the activities and operations of spirits. The original teaching provides an opportunity to prepare yourself for entrance into the spirit world, and so it behooves each one of us now to prepare ourselves with this knowledge for the rest of our earthly life and spirit life that follows. We can learn and apply the original teaching to know and become acquainted with the allness of ourself, and that will help us to clear our minds of scriptural, inherited, and acquired religious weeds that only hinder our spiritual unfoldment. Man's greatest foe is himself, and amongst his worst enemies within himself is indecision, materially and spiritually. We desire only to offer and explain the truths and interpretations thereof that the Master gave to the world, some correctly and some similar to his sayings in the Bible, even though many of his sayings have not been, and are not even in our present time, correctly interpreted to the people. It's remarkable that with the opposition Jesus was confronted with, that his name and teachings filtered through to our times as well as they have. Memory is an activity of the soul. Jesus' teachings were not and are not to develop or enlarge memory, but just the contrary, as you will learn and experience. Please hit the like button and take a moment to subscribe. Thank you. Click on this icon to subscribe. Thank you. And watch this. The Rapture and second coming, or watch this next video, The Trap.